Thank you, OBS. Very cool. I'll give some time for some people to rejoin. Oh, I do have to add this to the playlist. There we go. 999 subs? Whoa. Hold up. Holy. Just do that there. I had to screenshot it just for fun. What is happening to storage? Oh wait, no, it's light. Okay. Right, as I was doing before the stream ended, thank you OBS hotkeys. Why is space the hotkey to instantly end the stream? I tab out and then I just want to type something and end stream. That's so dumb. Okay, I did export the little chunk of the video though, so I'm gonna quickly... I still want to do that even though the server's up now. 2 PS streams in one day, never happening again. That literally happened twice before. Anyways. Right. I need to set up OBS for this, so... Professional streamer here. Why is it, like, kind of inconvenient to do this kind of thing? Ah... Okay, media player doesn't show up in the... Oh, whoops, misclicked. Whatever. We'll go back. Holy streamer! He's so good. Why won't it allow me to select this? There we go. Okay, geez, that took a while. I think this should work, because it's just a media player, so you guys are getting a little, just a little out of context chunk of the video. A 2-minute chunk of the video. It kind of starts and ends abruptly, because I just literally just took a knife to part of the video, but I want to show you guys this part. I actually cut out a pretty big chunk. No sound. There's no way there's no sound. I'm gonna kill someone. It literally shows on OBS there's sound. It's been showing me on OBS this whole time there's sound. I'm gonna kill someone. I'm watching the audio bar because this has happened so many times. What are we talking about? Desktop I can see that it peaking right now with the game audio. There's no way. I'm gonna kill someone. Why don't you guys tell me immediately? This is like the 4th time this has happened. How? It literally shows it right now. I'm not joking. Whenever I play this video, the desktop audio peaks. I'm gonna die. Also, this damn lightning. Okay, every time I try to show a video, audio doesn't work. I don't know why. I thought it was because it didn't like streaming DaVinci, but apparently it just doesn't do audio at all? Okay, I'm gonna manually add this, and you guys are gonna tell me if it works. So with low voltage final, I'm gonna remove desktop audio. Did that work? The stream isn't... That doesn't make sense, though. If it's in OBS, it's in the stream. That's just how it works. That work? Okay. Why? Why does desktop audio not work? Is that just automatically black? Oh, I know what it is. I have desktop audio on channel 2, but I don't have it on channel 1. And channel 1 is the only thing that gets sent on the live stream. So it's showing me the peaks for all channels, but it doesn't actually send all channels. It just sends channel 1. Okay, that's annoying. Fine. There we go. Layers, pumps, or robot arms. I'll just show you guys the last part, because that's the part that really needs sound of a higher voltage tier, to make sure that in LV, nobody's skipping ahead to mass-produce neutronium and crash the server economy. So with low voltage finally unlocked, the first progression gate has been lifted, and we can now produce electricity. Okay. Oh, we got music. Using our stockpile of copper and steel, combined with rubber from the centrifuge, I made our first LV electronic circuit for a basic steam turbine, which I placed on our new 2nd floor. The first priority when entering LV is unlocking the cheapest possible recipes for everything. For example, we currently make tin wire by turning 3 tin ingots into 2 plates in the forge hammer, which then have to each be cut into 1 wire, giving us a ratio of 3 ingots to 2 wire. But if we just make one electric machine, the wire mill, we can turn 1 ingot directly into 2 wire with a 3 times efficient recipe. The same can be done for plates in the bending machine, turning our 3 to 2 plate ratio into a 1 to 1 ratio. But some machines can completely remove certain resources from crafting. The motors we need for almost every electric machine are made with a magnetic iron rod, which is magnetized with either 4 redstone dust or an LV polarizer, meaning we don't even need redstone for motors at all. Over the course of the next few hours, I ended up making a cutting machine for better bolts and casings, a fluid extractor and fluid solidifier for melting and casting metals into rotors and gears, a chemical reactor for a 3 times efficient rubber recipe, and finally, an assembling machine. That part is the newest part of the video, that's why there's some incomplete stuff, so those last 5 seconds are missing some sounds and stuff, but... where is this here? There we go. Anyways, that is what I've been wanting to do ever since I started Project Singularity, and so now I finally get to do it. Okay, can I just get audio back, please? I messed up everything. There we go. Do we have music? Yes, we do. And I'll hide desktop audio again. It's so annoying. Why would it do that again? How long did that even take? That section, that 2-minute section, was around a week of work. More than that. The starting part, which you guys didn't see with audio, but with the whole map all zoomed out and all the pixel art stuff blending together to show like more detailed maps, all that, that was all around 4 or 5 days for like 30 seconds. And it's not like, oh, I worked for an hour that day. No, it's more, I woke up, I edited for 6 hours, I ate, I edited for another 3 hours, then streamed Silksong, played StarTech for 30 minutes, and went to bed. Silksong, this is a Hollow Knight boss theme, what are you talking about? This is not Silksong. Anyways, yeah, that's when I say in my update video that like I'm really disappointed with the videos I've been making and I know I can do a lot better. That's what I mean. Like I can put in dozens of hours a day to put together like a really good video. I haven't been able to edit it today or yesterday, though, because my mouth really hurts, and I don't know if you guys have been able to tell, because I've been trying to talk through it, kind of to see if I'd be good enough for voiceover right now, but the left side of my mouth is really swollen, and so some of my words kind of sound like I have a speech impediment right now, and it's not great. Not heard a difference in your voice. You see, the problem is that's not very useful to me because when I do a voiceover, I will notice it a lot more than any other person on Earth will. So, like, sure, you guys won't notice it, but you guys aren't listening to my voice 24/7, so I hope. That'd be very weird. Purpose of the purple hollow cube. This is what was gonna be our entire ME controller. So this is as big as it's gonna get. So down here is the part that's actually functional, and then these are the parts where we have it planned. But to be honest, I don't think we're actually gonna have it this large, so I don't know what I'm gonna do with it now. You don't listen to your voice 24/7? What do you mean? Why do you know that? What if I dream about my own voice? Sometimes I do, actually. I have had dreams about editing. You know, on days where I spend 9 hours straight editing. Do you speak 24/7? I talk to myself a bit. I'm not ashamed to admit it. Though it's, like, closer to an inner monologue, so it's, like, not actually vocalized, I guess. On the day when you edit 9 hours, which one? True. Not every day is like that. After a day like that, the next day will probably be spent on some different thing. Like, when I have a 9-hour day on the Project Singularity summary, the day after that is like maybe 2 hours of Project Singularity and then a little bit of Star Technology. Those are the only days when Star Technology videos get done. Like, I think I only work on Star Tech once a week. Sometimes less. The average day is more like 5 hours of editing Product Singularity, and then the rest of the time is just spent doing miscellaneous tasks, or just playing with friends. Give some building tips. I want to make a new base, but I'm worried about rooms. How do you plan rooms? I don't have any tips because it's all very freeform and like thought through on the spot. I don't really have much of a plan ever. So like for the plat line, how I made this work out is basically I was like, okay, I'll have the top layer, and well, I knew it'd be multiple levels. At first I thought it would be 3 levels. And I just started building the factory in this top layer. We'll put in plat line, great. Second layer, okay, we can fit palladium here, this works. Third layer, okay, we are not doing rhodium and ruthenium here. This is what I realized, we're not doing rhodium and ruthenium. We'll get a bottom floor, and so I just sort of made a bottom floor that felt like the right size, and it was, barely. Though we did end up stuffing machines in the middle, which wasn't planned initially, but ended up looking pretty good. It's all very, like, kind of all over the place. I just don't really plan things. Like here, I thought, oh, I'll put the entire cetane boosted diesel system down here. And then it was only this much space for CBD, and then there's this side that had nothing. And so Aspect just put regular diesel production over here. And then even then, it was still kind of empty. So it's hard to plan rooms. It's very freeform. You kind of build the factory as you build the room and make them fit each other. It's very hard to give advice. You have a job next to YouTube? No. So tall here. Definitely can't make it much taller, I don't think. Yeah, I'm really liking the Product Singularity video so far. I don't know if I like it as much as my Silksong speedrunning video, but then again, I'm gonna be biased towards that one, because Silksong. So I think I'm doing as well as I can. It's a bit weird from a YouTube side of things, though. I'm a bit worried, because, like, the algorithm mostly thinks of me as a Let's Play YouTuber now, but I think of myself more in that, like, voiceover, Martin Cito Pants, or really can't think of any other examples off the top of my head. I think of myself as that video essay style, but the vast majority of my views come from Let's Play content, so it's like kind of worried it won't do well, but Ambiguous amphibian. He's different though. Because he's not quite the same. He does voiceover. His stuff is voiceover, but isn't he a lot like Dosh? Where there's probably a little bit more editing than Dosh, but it's still like... It's still just talking over gameplay. It feels a lot more Let's Play-esque than Martin Cedo Pants. Because like with the video you just saw, there was some gameplay. Like most of the background footage is gameplay footage, but it's also like fairly darkened. It's used as just background. Most of the actual content of the video is animated. And shit, that took a lot of effort. I want to point out one little thing. I don't know how many people picked up on it. I pulled apart a motor in one of those crafting animations. Like I don't know how else to explain it. I pulled it apart and then uncoiled the wire and pulled the magnetic iron rod out of it. That might be one of my favorite crafting animations in concept. And I actually came up with it while watching the Backrooms movie. I don't know why. I just like had a revelation while sitting there in the theater like, oh, I could disassemble a motor. The problem with that is, like, when I'm animating, I have to fit everything I'm showing on screen into the voiceover, so animations like that can't get as much attention as I want. I could probably stretch it out a little bit, but it's hard to do. I don't want it here. This is gonna mess things up really bad. Slow video in 0.25 to see the full animation. It's not that hard to see. And plus, it's not important. It's more like just flair. It's basically to say, hey, the rod is inside the motor. So the focus isn't the animation, as cool as it is. And as much as that took more effort than anything else, it is just flair. If it was truly important, the other things I was showing on screen, I would slow it down, but it's not. I think of it as a sort of attention to detail. Like, if people want to pause the video and see, oh wow, there's 4 copper wire, and 2 other iron rods there, and wow, he has the full motor in there, then they can see that and appreciate it. But if you're a non-Greg Tech player, then you'll just be like, oh, that was a cool animation, and then forget about it. That's fine. Badger insta-mine everything? Yes. Oh, wait. You come up with the base design yourself? Well, I came up with... there's of course a lot of inspiration, but yeah. No one said I should build it this way. But, in my mind, it's like a really, weird mixture of, like, Portal 2, Silksong, and a few elements of my TFG base, all mixed together in my mind, and then none of you would probably think those are the inspirations at this point, because a lot of it is very different. I mean, the bronze is pretty... This is pretty obviously Citadel-esque, if you've seen Silksong, but lower parts of the base you wouldn't think of as Portal 2, but that was in fact the main inspiration. It just got, like, stretched out in my brain. If that makes any sense. But yeah, a lot of things mixed together in my mind, but yeah, mostly my ideas. Oh, that's not good. These pillars are farther apart. I think I just cover up that roof, like don't make it glass. Or make it all glass and make the other section partially glass. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Oh, now the question is, how do I actually make it glass? Because there's a lot of different glass types to use. But a lot of them are not going to look great. In my mind, I want to use Japanese and Chinese glass, but I think it'll be... Not Chinese. What's the other one? Wait, does that only exist as a glass pane? Yeah, I want this. Do you not exist? That doesn't exist. Okay, cool. Yeah, in my mind I want to use this for the roof. But I feel like it'd be too messy from the bottom level. Oh, it works. Who's pinging me? Casino's still a work in progress? Yes. The problem is, I can't really do a lot of the casino stuff because I've never been in a casino, I don't know most of those games, and I also don't know how to code. And so I'm basically just outsourcing all of that to Mastiox, who's gonna split the profits of the casino. Except Mastiox is also taking this time while Goose is taking a break to also himself take a break and play Star Technology with some friends. Okay, we're gonna try to make the Japanese glass work. I just have to force a design and then destroy it if it doesn't work. Oh, and then the other thing is, what are we doing for the supports? I guess we use just bronze. I think that would make sense. That's our main accent block anyways. I'm acting like bronze is an actual block. I'm kind of coping. Oh, that's annoying. I think it's fine, though. Mad now, can't play TFG. Still won't load. What's the error code? I think I know what bullshit is being played here. Rendering overlay. Oh. I was kind of hoping it was error code 1 or error code -1. Because CurseForge likes to dump those error messages and refuse to elaborate any further. And the easiest solution is just to stop using CurseForge. But if it's not that, then shit. Launcher to use Prism, yeah. Especially for GT&H specifically, it's already kind of an unstable mod pack, and when combined with CurseForge, it's just a hydrogen bomb. It doesn't like existing for very long. I don't know why the hydrogen bomb is an example. I think a lot of other bombs are a better example, but whatever. Loading config file. Hold on. You know what? I'll just send that to the dev. Does it crash on startup or crash on world open? Startup, okay. Okay, I just asked the devs directly, so I have an answer. Gonna need you guys to trust the process here. Because I'm taking a hot minute to figure out what I actually want to do. Oh, originally I was gonna try to have a flat section of roof, but honestly this would look better if I just made it. Oh yeah, definitely, okay. And even works out here. There's our center. Making supports with the glass dome, yes. Ceiling TFG base's roof. Not anymore. Now I don't have the flat middle, and so it's not TFG base. There you go. Holy. How to avoid copyright. Legally distinct. It reminds me of Goose's whole bit of just calling Witchery a legally distinct magic mod. Because it is just... it's just Thaumcraft with a few retextures and renames. He's actually throwing so much shade during his one block series. It's not stolen, it's mainly spired off it. I mean, where do you draw the line, though? Because to me, it's just a texture pack, from what I can tell. It's like somehow a worse version of Thaumcraft, which is just impressive, because Thaumcraft's already a pain in the ass in these kinds of mods. At least it's not blood magic. I've only played blood magic to tier 2 blood altar because that's all E2E required of me. Oh wait, no, I have a tier 6 blood altar in E2E. But I don't even remember building it, but I clearly remember making a camera pan for it for the E2E movie. Wait, what did I even use it for? I don't remember blood magic. Unmemorable mod. I think I needed some, like, max tier slate for the infinite mana pool. I did some cursed shit with that mana pool, dude. The blue crystal. True. Was that angle sight? Also, I've noticed that I've already hit that phase of a YouTube channel where I cannot watch any video older than 9 months because I don't like them. Like, I can't even watch TFG episode 1. I can't handle the voice. The stupid guy voicing it just sounds so weird. It's myself, but... And I was gonna watch the E2E movie to try to figure out what made its crafting animations good. And then I realized that I don't even think those crafting animations are good anymore. And also I could not watch more than like 10 seconds before I decided the voice was too cringe and went back to editing. I think the single largest thing I've improved on my channel is speaking louder into the mic. And but that's about it. That like handles all audio quality. Just talk louder. It does everything. Tip for any YouTuber trying to start this: if you just talk louder, 90% of your audio problems will be fixed, and you'll get a few new ones, but they're easier to fix. So watch your TFG videos. I'm sure all of you can handle it fine, but again, it's that thing of I listen to my own voice like a lot every day because I'm editing. And so when I hear that, it just sounds like I'm mumbling into the mic, half dead. And I can also hear like 100 different audio issues that I know how to fix now that like seem so obvious. It's impossible to watch now. Talk louder every stream for a month until you scream every word. Just very slightly. Very slightly every stream I talk a little bit louder. I have my audio meter on the side to make sure that I'm keeping up. It's just 1 decibel every stream. See if people notice. Log scale, so at some point that 1 decibel is going to be a lot. Yeah, decibels are weird like that, aren't they? I mean, it's just for the human ear though, right? To make each decibel feel the same. Because our brains are completely relative. Dude, hello? Why that feels so weird? So this is inconvenient. What do I do? Are you gonna play Star Trek with AE2 channels on? I'll be honest, AE2 channels just seem annoying. I see why most packs disable them, Because all you have to do is this. This is AE2 channels. You place 1,000,000 P2Ps, and then you have a carrier network, and anytime you need channels, you just place down that P2P tunnel, and there you go. That's channels. Boring mechanic. I said at the start of at the start of Star Technology, that it's just a chill, slow run, and I'm just there to have fun, because I know StarTech's like a relatively easy pack, and I'm just gonna chill. So I'm absolutely gonna turn channels off if they're not off by default, because they just seem like a dumb mechanic. I see why basically every pack disables them. Wait, this is annoying. Make the end wall higher, make the roof go into the wall. But the problem is, like, the window. Think of the window here. I'm thinking ahead. I know I always do this where I'm like, I don't know how to make this work, and then it's really vague, and people start trying to help with problems I've already fixed in my head. I should probably do a better job explaining. But if I do this, then I'll have the wall just extend up here, and then this is the only section of window that is not connected into some bronze, and then it looks really weird. Is there no sloped glass? No. Carpenter's blocks have a lot of slopes, but they only have these kinds of slopes and these, which just don't work. And they also have, like, this. This thing works like water. I have no better way to explain it. It's like, basically, Carpenter's chiseled water. Oh no, Carpenter's flowing water. This shit's cursed. Like, it does that, but then... Oh, what? Hold on, do I even remember how this thing works? No, I swear this thing, like, connects into Carpenter's slabs. Unless I'm thinking of a different block. I remember messing with this, and I got so confused. Because it's a block that makes no sense. And no other version has it. Where's slabs? Hello? They're not slabs? There's no slabs. Whatever. Dude, I swear this is a thing. Now I sound crazy. There. So now it's just tiny. What the hell? Okay, it's acting even more inconsistent than it was before. There we go. That's the bullshit I'm talking about. What is that? So it, like, changes shape based on other Carpenter's blocks around it. A lot like flowing water. It's not exactly like flowing water. I remember some version of them actually just followed the same logic as flowing water. All of the weird polygons and everything, and it was not good. I see GTNH doesn't have that. I think this would be better if I raised it off one block. StarTech and Star Technology. It's Star Technology. I hate the fact that that exists on CurseForge. Because let me search what's showing up when you do that. Okay, a pretty easy way to check this kind of thing is first downloads and second description. Actually, maybe the other way around. First description, then downloads. So StarTech says the large kitchen sink pack with an emphasis on exploring space. Star Technology does not have space, as far as I'm aware. Maybe it does, but doesn't have an emphasis on it. and it is not a kitchen sink pack. Then the other thing, Star Tech, not Star Technology, has 7,000 downloads. Star Technology has 880,000 downloads. So Star Technology is clearly the correct one. Also, if you watched my series on Star Tech, like Star Technology, you'll know Star Tech is on 1.12, while Star Technology is 1.20.1. There's a lot of ways to determine this. CurseForge is dumb. There's a lot of like duplicate names that are way too similar to other packs, and its search feature is really badly made, so the wrong one will show up more often than the correct one. So you have to be able to figure out which is correct. Yeah, versions is another easy way. Though more often than not, these are packs trying to copy other packs. Like, especially if it's a popular series, which Star Technology, there's a lot of popular YouTube series. There will be rip-off packs that have very similar names and similar descriptions that are just meant to farm downloads, because I guess it makes them feel good or something to have so many downloads. A very weird thing. What? I wonder if Matter Manipulator can do this. I honestly really doubt it. Could this crash the game? Also, this is gonna start deleting blocks, even if it does work. I'm kinda scared. Oh, it just doesn't like it. It doesn't do anything. Oh boy. And microblocks are always kinda laggy to place, because it, like, I don't know why. They're always delayed. The reason why we have downloads on TFG New Horizons. Yeah. Basically all of those downloads come from misleading my viewers. But I don't think it was purposeful. Sometimes it's purposefully misleading. I think TFG New Horizons was just someone making a bad mod pack, and then naming it TFG. And then because Terra Firma Greg doesn't show up when you search TFG, which, by the way, CurseForge, you have the worst search engine I've ever seen. Your own mods are like 10,000 times better. JEI, NEI, EMI, all the EI mods all have a better search engine than CurseForge. Bing is better than CurseForge. Like, if you search GTNH, GTNH will not pop up. Okay? If you search TFG, TFG will not pop up. If you search Create, it will not give you packs that have Create. It will only give you, like, Create Above and Beyond, and then a few, like, weird, tiny mods. Because it only searches for things in the name of the pack, and does not allow any nuance in that. So, like, I'll explain that. If you search... How about for specifically mods? Mr. Crayfish's gun mod. If you don't do it with the correct amount of spaces, with the correct punctuation, you will not find Mr. Crayfish's gun mod. You just can't. Same with Pam's Harvestcraft. Because I'm pretty sure Pam's Harvestcraft has an apostrophe. Yeah, it does. It doesn't show up. Unless you search on the website version. If you search on the website, then it does show up. On the app, it doesn't. Why? TFG works on Prism. Thank you, CurseForge. Oh, I forgot to tell you, because Piratey actually got back to me. They said to just reinstall the pack and move over all your saves. But I was in the middle of saying something else when I saw that, so I forgot about it. But yeah, what they should do is what every other search engine does, where you first search for things that exactly match, then you search for things that maybe have different punctuation, and then you search for, like, nested words, if that's the right term. Like, let me show how, this is a better example. Oh, actually, NEI is really bad at this. It should show exact matches at the top here, so this is actually not a good, example. This is not how CurseForge should do it. But first it should show exact matches. This has the word tin, nothing attached to it. Then it should look for different punctuation, and then it should just look for, hey, there's TIN in here. And then it looks for description. So on CurseForge that'd mean probably the actual description of the mod. And then maybe they could even go a step further and finally search for mods. So if you search create, at the very bottom will give you a list of all the mods that have create in the pack. I think that would give a lot better results. Maybe that's too many things to search up, though. That last one could probably be dropped. But, like, needing you to exactly match the words? But, no, it's not even that. Sometimes it doesn't even show up then. I think it's matching the file name, which is diabolical. Because I remember my friends were trying to get Terraformagreg, and they spelled it perfectly. Not TFG, they spelled Terraformagreg, and it didn't show up. And then they searched TFG-modern, and it showed up. Though I don't think that's usually the case. That might have been some weird other thing happening, I'm not sure. Either way, CurseForge is worse than Bing. Because at least Bing will eventually give you what you're searching for. I feel like this is too noisy. Didn't even know other ones existed. Yeah, that's the other thing. CurseForge is the worst mod loader, and it is also the standard. Much like how Windows is probably one of the worst mainstream operating systems, but it's also the standard. And I'm too lazy to switch to Linux. I'm sorry, guys. It takes too long. I don't have time. Maybe someone can help me one day. But yeah, Prism I think is the main alternative, but the problem with Prism is that it's like a really bare bones mod loader. I don't exactly know how to explain it, but it's a lot harder to get a new pack onto it than something like CurseForge would be. I think Modrinth is a lot better at that. But generally, CurseForge is really unstable and finicky and bad for mod developers. Prism is very stable, but pretty bare bones, and I haven't used any others, so I can't give my opinion on those. Prism's really easy, you just drag the zip into Prism. Yeah, that's the thing. And CurseForge, you search it up, and then you download it immediately. For Prism, for someone who's not, like, really big into computers, that's going to be a problem. Think of it from, like, a really computer illiterate user. So compared to CurseForge, which just lets you search the mod pack, ideally, but really it doesn't let you because it's bad. But in theory, you can just search up the mod pack, download it, and play it on CurseForge. On Prism, you first have to actually log into Minecraft again, because it skips the Minecraft launcher, so it needs to be able to log into your Minecraft account. Then you need to actually get the zip file from whatever mod loader, external mod loader, like Prism or CurseForge. Don't use CurseForge for GTNH, because then you'll have the same issues. You're just running it differently. But yeah, you have to download the zip and then drag it in. For someone who's computer illiterate, they might not even know how all that works. Can you search up packs on Prism too? I think you can, but it's like, you search through CurseForge or Prism. So it doesn't have its own built-in thing. You search through other mod loaders. Which is why you shouldn't do that for GTNH, because if you... Like, it's recommended to launch GTNH on Prism. That's why I have Prism. It's just for GTNH. Because there's a lot more things Prism can do that makes the pack run better. Like, we're on Java 21 rather than Java 8. And it launches much cleaner, because it doesn't have to go through the Minecraft launcher and all of its finicky bullshit that just doesn't like 1.7. Just, it's much nicer. But to do that, you couldn't just search up GTNH on Prism there, because that would load it through CurseForge. So what you had to do is you had to go to the GitHub page for GTNH and download it from there, and find their specifically Prism-made version of the pack, and then open it up. So that's why Prism's harder to use, because it's not like easy flick and play. It's still really easy if you know how to use a computer, it's just the average person doesn't. Oh, this is a problem I noticed a while ago. I was gonna fix this on stream. We're out of redstone. I don't even know how that's possible, we're just out. 61,000 redstone alloy, though. Maybe I can just centrifuge it. Average person wouldn't play GTNH. Average person shouldn't play GTNH. I know plenty of people who shouldn't have, but still tried, and then wasted like a good 200 hours before rage quitting it like HP. That's my warning, by the way, guys. If you're feeling the urge to play GTNH, trust me, other packs will scratch the same itch without wasting your time. Okay, so for this section, I could just do another glass window, but it's gonna be a different size than the rest of them. I think that's fine, though. So different on GTNH than base GT. So Greg Tech is a factory mod separated into 9 voltage tiers. I'd had to think in my head. Okay, LV through UV. GTNH is a mod pack with a lot of other mods, like forestry and Thaumcraft way down under in my base, and blood magic, and a bunch of other random stuff that doesn't belong. And it also follows the voltage tier system, but it is not just a tech mod, and that's what makes it, in my opinion, a lot worse. Because suddenly there's just other random shit happening, and it like, oh, you want to make this thing? Well, you can do a lot of tech stuff, but then you're gonna need this one thing that needs 5 hours of side questing with random slow crafting animations at this altar. Have fun. That's why I get other people to do that all. But the other thing is that it doesn't just like the Greg Tech progression here isn't raw Greg Tech progression. If we look at not that. If we look here at the integrated processor recipe, this is supposed to make 2, but they made it make 1, because then it's slower. And then when you upgrade it, can I just find the processor assembly here? When you upgrade it, you turn 2 into 1. This is supposed to be 2 to 2 because it's supposed to be an upgrade from the previous HV circuit. There's random stuff like that that just makes it take longer. And then, like, let's look at the tungsten recipe in the EBF. Hello? What the hell? Put tungsten dust in an EBF. Default recipe, no extra gases, is 625 seconds. If you're a normal person, the best gas you'll have access to at this point is radon. That's 350 seconds. So the only way to get around this is spamming a lot of EBFs, which just starts to bloat other costs. It just means everything gets larger without ever getting harder. That's the main difference. Tungsten, you do the other recipe. Well, you use tungstate and then you turn it into scheelite, so you have to do like the long line. I didn't use this because I used bees. Wait, tungstic acid. Yeah, you do this, right? That's still 200 seconds per ingot. That's still ridiculously long. Like, remember, you're using this in motors. You need 2 ingots per motor, so that's 400 seconds per motor. And at this point, you're doing this shit, which each machine uses like 8 motors, so that's still ridiculous. Not to mention tungsten steel, which is what the game recommends you to use for power with the ECEs, which I know they're bad. It recommends you them, though. The quests are usually gonna try to fight you. I used the ECEs because I thought they were cool. I knew they were suboptimal. It's product Singularity. Passive it, boom. Well, then you just AFK. That's not good gameplay. Like, you still need to passive it in other I had to passive tungsten in Nomi Factory, where the recipe is 50 seconds. That's not how to encourage passives, that's just how to encourage EBF spam. And, like, overblow it. Passive it and then do magic side questing. I'd rather die. But yeah, Greg Tech at its core is a very satisfying factory game with distinct progression tiers and a lot of very realistic elements that makes my autism tingle. And GTNH dilutes it. That's the difference, in summary. does this look now? I think it's pretty good. Will these packs help me learn more chemistry? They've helped me. Because I don't remember shit from school, but I remember a lot from here. Like, it's a lot of... If you actually specifically want to learn chemistry from this pack, big tip is just, whenever you're interested in a chemical process, you go look at it in-game and then you search it up on Wikipedia and find parallels. So, like, I learned how polymerization works in real life because I was just wondering why there's oxygen in the chemical reactor recipe for polyethylene. But yeah, it's helped me learn chemistry, because I've memorized all the elements of the periodic table, and a lot of their important chemical properties. I know a lot more petrochemistry, and actually from specifically this series, because I did so much oil processing, I actually learned the naming conventions for alkanes and alkenes and all that. So yeah, GTNH actually probably shines the most in its chemistry, I think. Did I say GTNH? Sorry, GregTech in general. GTNH doesn't do anything to the chemistry, it just adds other shit on the side. Are there any tips on selecting a good base location? A world for what? What mod? What game? GT New Horizons. Base location doesn't matter. It's suicidal to go mine your own resources anyways, because you need way too many. Past MV, past HV, you have to start passiving everything and have fun figuring out how, because really the best way to do it is XP crafting. But XP crafting is just gonna probably burn you out. Almost burned me out just from thinking about doing it. Luckily bees exist, and Chief Logan did all the annoying parts for bees, and so I can just do the interesting parts. Love looking up superconductors. I think you're behind a bit, but yeah, that's another thing I did. I learned that basically all the superconductors in base GT are real superconductors. Most of them, not all of them. Most of them are real superconductors or some kind of semiconductor that are relatively useful in real life. But also most of them only work at like 2 Kelvin. Okay, I need to finish up this roof section. We just covered up a huge part of the base, though, that's been sitting empty since HV. Does GT do anything in the molecular level? What do you mean, like particle physics, or what? Because base GT doesn't do anything like that. I mean, fusion, you could argue, but not really. But supersymmetry, GTNH, and I think... No, I was about to say Star Technology. I don't think Star Technology does. But yeah, Supersymmetry and GTNH both do, like, particle physics with subatomic particles. And it's kind of weird. Supersymmetry is going to be a lot more realistic with it, and I don't know if that's a good thing. It's terrifying. Dude, what do I do here? Because now I want to do those arches that someone mentioned. Do pillars up and arches over. I think I'll have the pillars go like 2 or 3 blocks above the roof and then slope down to about there. I need them to work on this side as well. And so they need to go far enough to go past the house. So we'll actually start building on that side and then make it symmetrical there. How long do you estimate Supersymmetry would be to complete when it's done as a mod pack? I heard that an experienced group of players took around 200 or 250 hours to reach EV. So if we just extrapolate that, like well over 1,000 hours. I think it will take longer than an experienced GTNH playthrough. And also, it will actually be challenging during that time, rather than just AE2 slop, which is what basically all of GTNH progression is from this point. I'm hoping that I don't have to... I'm hoping it doesn't take up too much of the time, by the way. I'm kind of dreading the AE2ification of literally every process. Yeah, I was kind of looking forward to Monazite Line, and then I watched Goose's video from a while ago in, what was it, the Garden of Grind series, where he did Monazite Line. And he had this whole, like, 10-minute rant about how literally every interesting engineering issue in GTNH is trivialized with AE2, and nothing past Ivy is actually difficult because of that. And I feel much the same way. I wasn't able to word it properly before that, but he said it perfectly. Like, anything that could be a very interesting automation challenge is just not really there. I noticed that when building the flatline, it's just storage bus and interface, storage bus and interface, storage bus and interface. And with Monazite Line, it's, oh, the digester! Level limiter pattern interface. There we go. It's just slop. These all end up being the same thing. Again, I'm hoping I don't have to go too much into that kind of stuff. Maybe I can limit myself to make most passive systems not use AE2, because this is Product Singularity after all. We add a lot of arbitrary limitations. But, again, we're arguing over, like, if GTNH as a base mod pack is good, and that is just a fundamental flaw of its design. So for these pillars, should I, like, I could double them up like this, and then connect them like that, and then you have them sloping down into pillars down there. Or I just have them as a lone pillar, though I'm looking at this and this is infinitely better. I forget I asked. AE2, the thing where you automated crafting recipes? Yes. AE2 is anything to do with item management at a large scale. Or a micro scale. It's just all item management and fluid management is AE2. This is all AE2. And anything in this menu, including all of these auto-crafting recipes, every single one of them is AE2. That's AE2. That's why the #1 advice you can give for any tech pack is, if it has AE2, bum rush it as fast as possible, and coat everything in ME cables. Let's unpack some new versions of anything interesting, throw in quality of life mods. Well, that's just vanilla plus. You don't like the genre. I don't either, but I see why it's there. I mentioned earlier in this stream, like, if you're a vanilla player, you'll notice the game is just becoming modded now, so why don't you just go play some vanilla plus mods? So that's exactly what people are doing. There's a really high demand for vanilla plus mods, and Create is bringing a new interest in modded Minecraft because, as I've seen from a lot of, like, technical Minecraft players reviewing Create, it is the vanilla player's tech mod. Vanilla players like Create. And so, those mods are created for the vanilla players discovering modded. I don't like them either, I just don't mind their existence either. If you want true classic technical modded Minecraft, why are you looking on the 1.21 packs in the first place? We're saying A2 is actually semi-soon on your last Star Technology vid. Oh wow, Star Technology vid, was it actually soon? Yes, it's very soon. I'm actually thinking about what my goal is for episode 3, because that's what made TFG very fun for me. Actually having a set goal every episode, and then I reach that, and the whole episode's styled around it. It makes each episode feel very satisfying, and I'm happy with it. Project Singularity never had that. So I'm thinking about what my goal is, and I think it'll actually be AE2, unironically. I have a bunch of resources, LV's gonna be really easy, so I could probably rush the entire tier and then just get AE2, because AE2 is right after the first voltage tier. Looking on newer versions, because the older versions have bad textures and old Minecraft is straight vibe coding. True. Yeah, hold on. Texture thing. Look at Igblon's, I go by lots of names, Nomi Factory series, if you want to play Nomi Factory, that is. He has a really good texture pack in there, ZTech. Still my favorite machine textures. I think Modernity has the best item textures, but ZTech has the best single block machine textures. They just look so nice. I don't know what it is about them. They mix the, like, texture complexity of base GT, which is the only distinguishing factor of single block machines, with the color distinction of Modernity, and it just makes them look very nice. So ZTech is really good for Nomi Factory, and the version that Igblon has linked in his video also has all the modern Minecraft textures. So if you're worried about textures, Nomi Factory's covered on that. And it seems like the same texture pack mostly works in just straight Greg Tech community pack. My friend tried it. Though I don't know why you'd play that. It's just like a very raw Greg Tech. Try setting a good goal playing each session in GTNH. No, that's why I didn't have a goal in Project Singularity videos, because you can't. Also, it's not a goal each play session, it's each episode. The last Star Technology video was 11 recordings over the course of a week, and the last GTNH video, the final GTNH video, I'm not making another Let's Play, that one was, I believe, around 50 recordings over the course of a month. Just over a month, I think. So, yeah, GTNH is cooked. You can't do that. You can't set a goal each session. I don't think I ever had a session in that episode where I was satisfied with what I did. Because it always felt like a tiny baby step with only 50 new problems appearing. That's why I say that like TFG and stuff is way more satisfying, because you actually feel like you're making progress. Oh, when was this here? Oh, whoops. I need a texture pack on this Star Trek video. No, it's a newer version. I said earlier this stream, it's 1.20. How else would it have Create? Create was first added in 1.16 and only really properly works, in my experience, on like 1.20 plus. I think it's pretty stable in 1.16. I take that back. I don't need that. Good example of these streams. Yeah, these streams are around triple the length, usually, of an average GTNH recording. Like, I only had the stamina to play for around 2 hours a day before I would just instantly feel like jumping off a bridge. These streams are a lot better because I can just sort of talk. And also I sort of feel pressured to make them last longer than 2 hours. But the GTNH recordings, basically 3 of them fit into one stream. You can get the idea of how each recording felt because of that. Because just watch a third of one of these streams and see if that's a satisfying amount of progress. Oh boy, I got 1 roof done. Of the OG house is still intact. I mean, I don't know if I'd go that far. The entire ground around it is completely messed up, and you can't go down the stairs at all. And also, that's there. So it's not really that intact. It's like visually on the outside kinda still there. I'm so good at building, holy. gonna look really dark down here because there's no glow blocks now. You seen the features of the new Minecraft update? We were just talking about this. They seem very strange to me. Like, I've briefly heard about them. I haven't played vanilla Minecraft in over 6 years. But I heard of them, and my question is just, why are we playing vanilla Minecraft? It's just, they're like drip feeding really incomplete husks of modded features. Why don't you just play modded? And I don't mean this modded, no. If you don't want it, then don't play it. I mean vanilla plus mods. Those exist in vast quantities. Why don't you play those? Chuck in some... why don't people just enjoy their create slob? Why play vanilla Minecraft when you can just have some vanilla plus create slob? We'll get create mod. StarTech has create. Pretty sure you're the guy who's asking for pack suggestions. StarTech features create pretty prominently in the early game. You get rewarded arguably too much for using create. Oh, and TFG has create, it's just not completely broken. It's the first pack I've ever seen where create progression is balanced. Okay, we've now made a Walmart parking lot. Holy. I have to make it look nice. Your final challenge. Oh, hell no, Jigsaw. How do I do this? To convince them to get Vein Miner. Vein Miner's a pretty broken mod, though. And unless you have some tight limits on it, like you can only mine up to 20 blocks, and even then, like, it trivializes mining too much. I think Vein Miner's actually a fair thing to reject. Especially in a Greg Tech pack. Greg Tech pack, it's a no-brainer to say no to Vein Miner. Because you just go up to an ore vein and delete the entire thing. Playing vanilla. But, well, I'm saying GT is, like, especially bad, but even then, Vein Miner, for if you want to do an underground base, it's too powerful. There's no point to doing TNT or anything. I guess, no, vanilla mining's so dumb, because you don't have, like, mining hammers or anything. Oh, never mind, go ahead. You don't have mining hammers. It's only bad in a pack like E2E where there are actually cool ways of digging, but instead you can just vein mine. But no, vanilla's just dumb. Oh, thank you, AE2. I know my friends will reject Tinkers. That's dumb. Okay, I think Tinkers is actually a really good mod to have in a vanilla pack. Hot take? Tinkers is actually peak for that kind of thing. Because especially modern Tinkers is really balanced. The strongest tool you're ever gonna get is only marginally better than the strongest vanilla tool. Marginally maybe not, but it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It is very balanced. Like, you'll get a cleaver, and you want to get wither skeleton skulls with a cleaver, because it has beheading. And it has a very high chance of dropping wither skeleton skulls. What's a very high chance? Like 20%. It's not even that high. It's not like the Skullfire sword. Like, pickaxes. You probably couldn't get an Instamine pickaxe in Modern Tinkers without a beacon. You can't have a pickaxe that's always Instamine. You need a beacon. Instamine trees. You can Instamine trees, and more importantly, there's the lumber axe, and the lumber axe will cut down the full tree for you. Which is pretty nice, especially with Biomes of Plenty, though that gets a little bit broken. Redwood tree, my beloved. Old Tinkers, like 1.12, especially with its add-on mod, I can understand rejecting that, because those get very broken, but modern Tinkers is incredibly balanced. It's made to be Vanilla Plus, basically. Guessing they don't want to learn any new mechanics, just want to play what they're used to. That's so boring. I'm for your 600th playthrough of Minecraft that will last 1 week, because there's nothing new to do. Oh boy. Also, I do realize the irony of me saying 600th playthrough of something when I'm probably nearing my 700th playthrough of Silksong. But that's different, because that's getting better at the game, that's playing it competitively and professionally. To get for speedrunning, I assume your friends aren't speedrunning, because then the playthrough wouldn't be longer than a day. Okay, now the parking lot is truly complete. How do we... what do we do? Why does that look like an 18th century factory? Oh, those line up. That's interesting. By the way, tip for not really a tip, but like recommendation for vanilla players, play TFC, not TFG. Play TFC, base TFC. You could probably just make a custom CurseForge profile that just has Terraformacraft and maybe some Terraformacraft add-ons like Firma Firma Civilization, that one's pretty good. And then that's about it. I don't even think you need NEI or JEI. Just chuck in some TFC add-ons, maybe throw in a shader pack if your PC's good, and play it. It's so peak. It's actually so good. I got a group of my vanilla vanilla Minecraft friends to play it, and it's like... it's so fun. Because everyone's gonna be good at a specific thing. Like, you'll have the one blacksmith, you'll have the cook, you'll have the farmer. Everyone is to their own thing. What's TFC? Imagine if primitive technology videos were a video game. That's the fastest way to explain it. I have a series on Terraform Greg. The first 2.5 episodes are kind of representative of what the mod's like, but not really at the same time, because I'm pretty sure Kaolinite is not really a thing in 1.21 TFC. Maybe it is. But if you want a good idea, a basic idea of TFC, just watch episode 1 of my TFG series. TFG is different because it has Greg Tech. And that episode 1 mostly stays within just TFC bounds. That gets you a good idea of what the mod's about. Very fun. How do you know what to do, how to craft without JEI? Field guide. Built into TFC. The best... no, sorry, not the best in-game documentation. Because Create probably holds that title. But one of the best, second best in-game documentations I've ever seen. Okay, so here's the problem with what I've done here. This is the correct slope, but that is such a long distance, and now that's really short. You've had several base TFC playthroughs. Yeah, but that's really old. It's not really the same at all at that point. I think I'll just extend everything by 2 blocks. Something I gotta do is put a roof over the... This is troubling. As I was saying, I gotta put a roof over this system. Calamity music? I'd be really surprised that a Greg Tech player would play Calamity. I have over 1,000 hours on the mod. I have as many hours on Calamity as I have on Silksong. You know how crazy that is? You know how many hours I have on Silksong? What do I do here? Playing Calamity than this appreciating enough to have the OST in your music playlist. No, I think it's more common for people to like the music than it is to like the mod. You know that Calamity was it gets voted like the best fan-made OST on some platform. I think it was Opera GX actually. But it was voted the best fan-made OST for a game ever, which is honestly unsurprising, very unsurprising. Dude, what do I do here? Because I want to have an overhang. I want to look out from these chemical plants out into this area. And so you should be able to fly out, but it would look bad no matter what I do. That's surprising because who else makes fan-made OSTs? Well, every other Terraria mod has their own stuff. I'm pretty sure. Or not every, but most of them. And then there's stuff like Hollow Knight Pale Court, and then there's upcoming Silk Soul mod. Those are just the ones I know, because I only play 4 games, but I'm sure a lot of games have fan-made OSTs like that. Where's Jacera? Probably working on Silk Soul. Oh, Zolhex, did you see the Silk Soul trailer? What? Okay, he hasn't. So it is currently the most popular, I don't know how to say this, because it's not just the most popular upcoming mod for Silksong, because that's not saying a lot. There's not a lot of well-known upcoming mods. It's like, basically the most popular Silksong project out there. It's insane. The trailer has more views than the Hollow Knight trailer, which is nice. Oh no, it's one of the old Hollow Knight trailers, not the newest Hollow Knight trailer. So it's not that insane, but still. It's completely stupid. Every Silksong YouTuber has said something about it. Mossbag's now part of the dev team. Like, unironically, check the list of staff on the server. Mossbag is there. Because why not, I guess? And yeah, they're doing good now. And it's very funny that's my chatter who started that. It's just Ceratops. Mossback, the guy who made the Hornet, it's not an insect video? What are we saying? The thing is, that's a very Mossbag thing to say, so I don't know if you're just making a joke about Mossbag, or if you genuinely don't know who he is. Among others. Wait, that's a thing he did? He's like way more well known for his Hollow Knight and Silksong lore breakdowns. Like the full summary videos and then also the more specific lore breakdowns. Is that a thing he did? By the way, I'm completely blanking on any like fragment of an idea on what I should do here. So I'm sort of just staring at it. Hold up, one of my friends just sent some pictures of rocks. Give me a second. That's very cool. Anyways. Something gothic? Yeah, but the thing is, here's the problem. This is what I have to work with. I have a thickness of this. It's one block that is going to be completely flush with the supports. What makes it so annoying? Maybe I can force it to be more than that, but I don't see how. Is the guy who debunked MatPat? Yeah, that's a more common thing for Mossbag to be known for. But I feel like the mostly complete lore of Hollow Knight video is... I'm pretty sure that's his most viewed, right? It's like something stupid, like 8 million views. 9 million. We sacrificed for Silksong? True. Wait, I have an idea. If there's not enough space, then just destroy the whole thing. Kill everything. Also, there's a chemical reactor somewhere in our base that's making sulfuric acid, and it hasn't ever stopped. I thought it was capped at 32 million liters, but clearly it's not, and I'm a little bit concerned that it's actually going into the fluid cells. But yeah, it's just been very slowly making sulfuric acid, and it's reached this point now. Wait, that's a floor. I shouldn't put that there. You can check if it's going into the cells, but that takes effort. I'd rather wait to see if I can't insert any fluids. I don't even finish watching a complete playthrough of Silk Song. Well, Slimesicle, Small Ant, or myself are my favorite playthroughs. There you go. Or if you want to watch VODs, I've been interested in watching Moist Critical's playthrough, but I also don't want to watch a VOD, so I haven't. You could also play it yourself. It's like $16. I don't know how? What do you mean? Search Small Ant or Slimesicle? Silk Song. Favorite playthrough of Silk Song is my playthrough because I played it myself. That's true. That's another way of saying what I was trying to say. Go play it yourself. It's 100 times better to experience yourself, especially without spoilers, because a lot of the focus of the game is exploring the world and figuring out its story for yourself. Also, shout out to Slimesicle for making possibly my favorite video of the last 2 months, which was his modded Subnautica video. I haven't laughed at anything like that since. I actually watched a Silk Song stream when it came out. A surprising amount of people, and I don't know why. What were they doing? Like, there's the kind of excuse that, oh man, it wouldn't install because the store was down. But then just wait and then download the game. That's what I did. Though I guess maybe some people were making the mistake I made as well, because I remember after my first session of playing Silk Song, I went to check the start of Blue SR's stream of Silk Song. Just like, oh, surely there's no spoilers. I just want to see what he thought of Moss Grotto. And apparently, Blue SR was actually the world record holder for the speedrun of the demo. So he went to a gaming event and sat there in the booth replaying the demo over and over again until he got good at speedrunning it. And so he knew the entire layout of Moss Grotto and spoiled every single secret in the entire area for me. But yeah, maybe it's people just like that who think, oh, I just want to see their reaction to it. It couldn't possibly spoil anything, right? Moss Grotto has basically no secrets. Well, no, I'm particularly bad at finding them, though. I didn't find any of them. So I didn't know about Dave. I didn't know about the shell shards to the left of Moss Grotto 2. I didn't know about the rosary string below Moss Grotto 3. I also didn't know about the shell shards on the right side of Moss Grotto 4. I don't even think I saw the Weaver door on the right side of Moss Grotto 4, even though it's not even hidden. And I didn't find the rosary chest below Moss Grotto 5. Also, that's the numbers we use for speedrunning. That's not the actual room numbers. I know Triceratops is gonna get confused by that. That's just in order of what rooms we see. Masquerade room numbering makes total sense. Well, no, the speedrunning room numbering doesn't really make sense. Because, well, from like, compared to the numbers, because we have Toot 1, Toot 01 is named Masquerade 1, and also Masquerade 3, and also Masquerade 5. Depending on how high in the room you are. We have 3 different numbers for the same room. Because we re-enter it. It's different in the room sob, and so we need different names for it. It's more useful for speedrunning. We don't want the file names. We don't want to go, oh, this room sob is for 2 to 01 starting from left 2 going to right 2, okay? Like, that's boring. No, that's just MG3. It's more useful. For some things, we'll use the actual room number, especially for stuff like Aspid 1, because that's very memorable. It's the only Aspid room in the entire game. And very specific rooms that don't have a lot of features, like Bone 7 or Bone 14. But then apart from that, we come up with actual names. So there's like Rat Maze, and there's lava cycles in the Underworks, and a bunch of stuff like that. Windmill Climb. But then there's Song 08, which is like the most hated room in the entire game, and we have no name for it. ECD, that's most... No, that's a completely subjective term. I don't think it's actually the most hated room. In fact, only top speedrunners hate it because it has a really dumbass room sob that's, like, impossible to beat. It uses some incredibly rare set of RNG combined with a bullshit cycle that is pixel perfect to reach, and that's why we hate it. So literally only a select few of top speedrunners like myself actually call it that. Song 08? Maybe it's another one. Am I getting it wrong? Because I'm thinking of the room... It's a different number then, maybe. Think of the room where you enter from the Gourmand room and you exit into the High Hall's entrance hall. No, that's kind of misleading. Normally you'd go through the room to enter Cogwork Dancers from the left side, but we go through it to go to High Halls. I don't know how else to explain its location. You just climb straight up. There's a few spike wall climbs, there's a few enemy pogos, a lot of clawline tech, and a very dumb cycle. It's rooms like that where we don't even accept it on the room sob sheet, which is the sheet specifically made for bullshit, extremely difficult strats, because it's too bullshit. Ceratops is not giving me any verification on this room. She's probably pulling up the room herself. By the way, we're finally extending this pipe. Didn't really say anything about it, but like this has been sitting here since we first built this floor. High house boss rush thingy. I find it really dumb when people stop playing over that, because it is the most delayable part of the game. You can do literally everything else in the entire game before that arena. Like, sure, it's required. It's the only truly difficult part of the game that's required, but you could get just god equipment and then sit in the corner and kill everything instantly if you feel like doing that. Song 11? I think it's Song 11. No, that sounds more right, more correct. Or Dancer's best song? I can't choose a best song. They're all really good. I think it could deserve that place. So it's a top song, but so does like 20 other songs in the OST, so... Flea hidden off to the right? Yeah. That's a more distinguishing feature. I forget about the flea, because I only think about it in terms of what we're doing in any percent. But yeah, there's a flea there. So yeah, I believe the pattern for the room is you have to dash, repress, pogo dash, and then down dash glide, pogo the enemy there, there's an enemy towards the start of the room. The down dash glide's already making it kind of bullshit. Then you have to, pogo him, then claw line across at a very specific time. Well, as fast as possible, it's not that specific. At the height of your jump, though, you have to be high enough, not necessarily as fast as possible. And then you have to do perfect wall jumps on the wall, and then you have to, like, corner correct over a platform, and then you'll just barely make a certain platform cycle to save 0.3 seconds. That's why we hate it. Bullshit. Taking a block on the frame with the technical blocks. There's a block near it. I mean this. Is 0.3 seconds time save? Yeah. I want to demonstrate the room better, but also... I open Silksong right now, half the viewers will leave, because that's always what happens. On the front where A2 is. Oh. Why is that? Why? I don't know what else you could mean, though. That's kind of annoying, though. Okay, make that do something on the other side, but I just want to see if we're doing good with this pipe. I think I want to lower it here. You're not seeing the missing block? You mean there's... Where? There's no missing block. Okay, this will do something up on the roof, but we're actually kind of gonna finish the front here for once. Should probably end stream pretty soon. Remember if you ever showed the oil refinery in the videos? It was the main topic of 2 videos. Episode 9 and 10 were both centered on the oil refinery, I'm pretty sure. The only change that's happened to the oil refinery since episode 10 is this octane refinery. That's it. You made the first 3 oils. Well, I made the first 4. I made all 4 of these refineries, which is basically the whole thing. And then I left and I said I'd do one more thing later. What is this particle? Yeah, I said there'd be one more thing, and that one more thing was the octane refinery, and so here it is. If you mean the other things on this platform, this has nothing to do with the oil refinery. Well, that's oil production, I guess, so this is a difference. We turn infinite cobblestone generated here around 400 per second. I'm gonna wait for it to turn on so that I can prove that it's 400 per second. Yep, there, 400 per second, cobblestone. And then it gets sent through all of these formation and annihilation planes, which basically places cobblestone and then breaks it once it transforms. It transforms because of the nether leaves here. It says it's ender leaves, it's definitely nether leaves. And those nether leaves turn it into soul sand, netherrack, and nether quartz. The soul sand can be centrifuged into oil, like this, and so we send it through 4 EV centrifuges here, which then keep this tank full of oil, and that supplies everything infinitely. So I guess that is one other difference, but it's not really the oil refinery, that's just oil production, which has changed many times, well, even within episodes. Like, it was at first produced by bees, then is pumped out of the ground, then is done with infusion, not infusion, infused seeds. And I barely covered any of those changes because those were all aspect. What happened to oil bees? They were completely inadequate by the beginning of HV. They were, like, woefully underpowered. They were really cool in LV, they were amazing to have in MV, but the moment HV started, they just died. Even with industrial apiaries, which we had just unlocked, we tried running cetane boosted diesel on them, we just couldn't. So the base was having huge power flickers, and so Aspect just said, screw it, I'm getting infused seeds, and then the problem was solved forever. Fast did the oil rig run out of oil? Way too fast for an oil rig. The moment I started up high-octane gasoline, that thing actually started running. Because up until that point, we weren't really using petrochemicals. Ethylene would only be used, like, 10 buckets a day on average. Not great. But with gasoline now, we use probably 1,000 or more. And so, the moment that got turned on, the oil rig ran out. 3 days. It just did not stand a chance. But we weren't relying on it anyways, it was just a backup source. Because I knew that was a problem. How did I check the crafting computer? And I kind of want to fix redstone. Well, I don't have time this stream. I'll probably just end now. I gotta add a bunch of bracing to this pipe, but that'll properly decorate that side, and it'll give me something to work with on the top here. And then after that, I'm gonna stick a roof on here. Maybe add some pillars to hold up the roof. Figure out something to connect this. And then after that, I think I'll leave this for later. I want to get this roof done first, just so that the front half of the base is looking good. But yeah, there's now an end in sight for this base. You can see where the section of the base are gonna end. We actually have a roof here, we have a roof here, we're just gonna cover this all up. This won't have machines. They're starting to tie things up. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and God bless.